You ever seen a place that feels like it hates you all day, and then suddenly gives you the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen? That's West Texas. Out here, the sky burns orange and red like the world is on fire. People travel miles just to watch it. But the strange thing is, the very things that make that sunset so beautiful are the same things that make living here almost unbearable. Out in West Texas, the evening doesn't arrive quietly. It shows up like a slow explosion in the sky. The sun starts dropping low, and suddenly the whole desert begins to glow. The air turns orange, then deep red, and for a moment it feels like the land is trying to say something. People who visit here always stop and stare. They pull their trucks to the side of the road. They take pictures. Some of them even whisper like they're standing in a church, because sunsets here don't look normal. They look bigger, wilder, almost unreal. The sun is dropping lower now, and the light is softer. The sky still burns orange, but the land below it looks tired, like it has been through too many years of the same fight. The wind pushes dust across the ground, slow and quiet, like it owns the place. Out here, silence is normal. But this kind of silence feels heavy. The old man shifts again in his chair, slower this time. His hands grip the armrest for a moment, like even sitting still has become hard work. He doesn't complain right away. People like him don't. They hold pain the way the desert holds heat, deep and quiet. Then finally, he speaks. He says sunsets like this confuse people. Folks think beauty means the place is kind. But that's not how it works here. Out here, the land can make you feel small all day long. The heat, the wind, the emptiness stretching for miles with nothing to hide behind. It wears on a person. It gets inside their head. Some people leave after a few months. Others stay and slowly turn into part of the land itself. He laughs once, but there's no real humor in it. He explains again how the dust and the dry air make the sky look like this. How the shorter light disappears and the red and orange stay behind. He says it like he's told this story many times before, but this time it sounds different. This time it feels like he's not really talking about the sunset. He's talking about life. Some things fade away first. The lighter moments. The easy days. What stays behind are the heavy parts. The memories that don't leave. The younger man sitting beside him watches the horizon. He doesn't interrupt. He just listens. Because he knows when the old man starts talking like this, something else is coming. The old man leans back slowly, and the chair creaks under his weight. He mutters that he's 82 years old now, and just sitting there feels like a car crash in slow motion. Every joint reminds him of it. Every breath feels older than the last one. For a few seconds, neither of them says anything. The sunset is still beautiful. Almost too beautiful for a place that feels so rough. Then the old man turns his head slightly and looks at the younger man. Not fully, just enough to show he's watching him. And he asks a question that sounds simple. But it isn't. He asks him if he's doing honest work these days, or if he's cheating people, just like his old man did. The air between them changes instantly. Conversations in families like this don't start softly. They start where the truth has been hiding for years. The younger man doesn't react right away. He takes a breath, watching the last bright edge of the sun touching the horizon. Maybe he already knew this question would come one day. Maybe he's been waiting for it his whole life. When he finally speaks, his voice is calm, but there's weight in it. He says maybe he is like him. Maybe he is a cheater too. The old man nods slowly, like he expected that answer all along. No surprise. No shock. Just a quiet acceptance that some things in families travel farther than people want them to, like dust in the wind. He lets out another dry laugh and says something that lands harder than the question before. He says, figures. And then he says something that feels colder than the desert air after sunset. He says the apple didn't fall far at all. The sun is almost gone now. The sky is darker, deeper red, like the day itself is bleeding out slowly over the land. And the conversation is only getting started. The last piece of sunlight is hanging on the edge of the world now, like it doesn't want to leave just yet. The sky is darker, the red deeper, and the wind feels cooler against the dry ground. For a moment, it almost looks peaceful. But the quiet between the two men feels heavier than the desert itself. The younger man is still staring at the horizon, but you can tell his mind isn't on the sunset anymore. Some words don't just pass by. They sit there, pressing on your chest. Being compared to his father wasn't new. He has heard it before. Maybe from strangers. Maybe from people in town. But hearing it from the old man sitting beside him feels different. Feels final in some way. The old man notices the silence stretching too long. So he does what people like him often do when things get too real. He hides the truth inside a joke slowly, reaches into his shirt pocket and pulls out his phone. It takes him a second to unlock it. His fingers are stiff, not as quick as they used to be. When the screen lights up, the glow hits his face in the fading evening light. Then he turns the phone slightly. Toward the younger man, he says he picked out a casket, just like that, calm, casual, like he's talking about buying a new truck or fixing a fence. He asks if the younger man wants to see a picture of it for a second. It almost sounds funny. Almost like one of those strange old man jokes meant to make people uncomfortable. But the way he says it, the way his eyes stay on the horizon, makes it clear he's not really joking. The younger man finally turns his head and looks at the phone. The screen shows a polished wooden casket, clean and perfect, sitting in a showroom. Somewhere far away from this dusty land, the old man watches his reaction. Carefully then he says something that cuts a little deeper. He says he bets that younger man can't wait to get him in the ground. Wind passes through the porch again, rattling something loose under the steps. Neither of them laughs, because they both know. This conversation has been waiting for years. The younger man shakes his head slightly, not in anger. More like he's tired of the direction this is going. He says they've avoided telling each other the truth for a long time now. Maybe too long. Maybe that's why every conversation between them feels like it's walking around something instead of facing it. For a brief moment, it almost feels like they might finally say everything out loud. All the things that were left unsaid after arguments. After years apart, after mistakes that nobody really explained. But the old man suddenly lifts a hand and stops it before it. Begins. He says something simple. Let's not start. Now then he adds something that feels almost strange. He says, telling the truth now would ruin it. That line hangs in the air. Longer than anything else said so far, because what exactly would it ruin? The peace between them. The illusion that things were never that broken? Or maybe the stories they've both told themselves. Just to get through the years, the sun finally disappears behind the horizon, and the world goes quiet in a different way. Not the quiet of evening, but the quiet of two people realizing they are closer to the end of something than the beginning. But the old man isn't. It's finished yet, and the story they've been avoiding is about to come out. Whether they want it to or not, the sky is darker now. The bright colors are fading, leaving behind a deep red line far out on the horizon. The kind of light that only lasts a few minutes before night takes over completely. The porch creaks softly as the wind moves through it again. Somewhere in the distance, a truck drives across the empty road. Its sound fading just as quick. Most people think every sunset looks like this everywhere. But it doesn't, not even close. The secret is something most folks wouldn't expect. It's the dust. And it's the dry air. Out here, there isn't much moisture floating around in the sky. The wind carries fine dust across the land all day long. It gets into everything. Your clothes, your house, even your lungs. By the time evening comes, that dust is still hanging up there in the air, invisible most of the time. But when the sun starts to fall, the light hits it just right. The softer colors disappear first. The blues fade away. The brighter light gets filtered out, and what's left behind are the colors that travel the longest. Deep red, burnt orange, and gold. That's why the sunset looks like it's painted across the sky. It's not magic. It's the desert itself changing the light. But here's the strange part about it. Those same two things that create this beautiful sky, the dust and the dryness, are also the things that make living here so hard. The air is rough on your skin. The wind never really stops. The land feels empty sometimes, like it's pushing people away. Some days it feels like the place itself doesn't want you here. And yet, every single evening it gives you this. It's almost like the land spends the whole day testing you. And then right before the sun disappears, it decides to show you something worth staying for. Two people sit on an old wooden porch watching it happen. One of them has been here his whole life. 82 years of dust, wind, and long days under the Texas sun. The other one is younger, quieter, still trying to understand what this place really is. The old man shifts in his chair slowly. Even that small movement hurts. His bones remind him every day how long he's been alive. He looks out at the sky, then lets out a tired breath, and that's when the real conversation begins.